What's up, Internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, July 27th, day number 12 inside the Big Brother house. We've got a lot to go over. Chelsea won HOH. Noms were yesterday. Lisa was her main target going into it, but Kenney was asking for it. Angela, MJ, Leah were all potential nominees as well. But could a budding showmance throw a wrench into all of these plans? We're going to talk about all of that and more, everything you need to know from the live feeds yesterday. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. All those things are things that the YouTube algorithm loves. So help me out with that as well. Let's talk about the super late night, really kind of early morning chat with Leah and Quinn. It kind of missed yesterday's video because if I would have waited, the video would have been out at like 5 p.m. They were flirting and talking game for a long time in the backyard. But Leah was seemingly trying to make it very clear that it wasn't romantic and more friendly. Quinn, not so much. I think Quinn has it bad. Quinn has been crushing on Leah for a while. They made a final two, but hopefully Quinn is keeping his head a little bit straight because he didn't actually share all of his information. He told her things about, you know, having a final two with chemo, but she would be the real final two moving forward. He also didn't tell her that he has a power. She didn't mention that MJ has a power that she knows about as well. So they still were keeping some details to themselves. It wasn't full blown, just like, oh my God, you're cute. Here's all my information. They were keeping things tight. But I don't know how much of this is real. We're gonna break this down a little bit more a little later in the video about the just very flirty nature of this house and how there may be some more complications with some of this flirting as we move forward. Let's jump into nominations. Like we said, Chelsea is the HOH, and she has a decision to make on who she's going to nominate. She has to nominate 3 people for the block. And I have to stress, this is a decision she should not have to be making. There was no reason for Chelsea to win HOH this week. Absolutely none. Probably the worst thing for her game to win HOH this week. And I kind of have an issue with this. I feel like every time I say this about a house guest going into an HOH competition, they always end up winning it. I remember I did it with Turner and BB26 coming out of the Dire Fest stuff, the split house. I was like, if there's anybody who doesn't need to win HOH, it's Turner. What does he do? He wins HOH. Same thing with Chelsea, Cam, and Cedric. I thought all 3 of them, there was no reason for them to win HOH. It just wasn't going to be good for their game. What does Chelsea do? She wins HOH. So now she has to make the decision on who she's going to nominate. Lisa seemed like a lock from the very start. She's very anti-Lisa. And it seems like that's going to be her target, her number one target that she wants to get out this week. Kenney also seems pretty easy as a nom. He's kind of checked out in the game, talking about how he wanted to be nominated. Though he then mentions later that he feels like he should be good next week and he'll try and win HOH. I don't know. To me, anybody who comes up and they're like, oh, just nominate me, I kind of want to go home, I'm not going to nominate you. Why am I going to use my power to put somebody who wants to leave anyway up on the block? If you want to leave, leave. Walk out. You at any point, Kenney, can walk out that front door. You at any point can go into the diary room and say, I'm done. Go do it then. I'm not going to waste my power on sending someone who doesn't want to be there home. If you've checked out, check out. Go on. You can check out at any time. This isn't a hotel where you have to wait until 11 p.m. to actually check out. You can check out whenever you want. Whenever you want. So go do it. Not on my HOH. Some other options, though, were Angela, who told her she expected to go up as a nominee. Interesting, actually, Cedric pushed really hard for Angela to be one of the nominees and said, like, hey, like, put her up, but we do have to let her know prior, because she, you want to avoid the blow up, right? This was also a little weird to me because I kind of thought Cedric and Angela had like a decent bond kind of going, almost like a little bit of like, kind of mother-son kind of a thing. vibe happening to it. He was comforting her a lot after the blow up. But I think he's just seeing her as too much of an emotional player to really trust. And he's like, hey, just put her up, right? Like, why are we messing? She's an easy person to put up. The whole house won't get upset with it. Just do that. They also want to use MJ as a shield. They kind of hope that, you know, she's someone that everyone will put on the block before them, but also someone that everyone will vote out before them, which is true. But we'll dive deeper into why I think this is a terrible idea. Once we bring out the allegiance chart, we do have a brand new allegiance chart for this week. And I honestly, at this point, if MJ didn't end up on the block, I said it yesterday, and I stick by that even now. As soon as MJ does use her power, Chelsea should be the one going up on the block. You have a chance to get rid of this power and for it not to be a big deal. You got all the ammo you needed from MJ with her saying like, yeah, like, I don't even want to use it. And, you know, you shouldn't put up your target initially because they could come off. And this is one of those things where she gave you everything you needed. You could have said, MJ, yeah, use it. Use it and come off, and we can hope that Angela or Lisa get put up on the block. And if they don't, oh, well, there's 2 other nominees, and there's still the BBAI arena. We'll be good. Flush out that power. Now you're leaving MJ in the game, and we'll get into it deeper why, you know, this probably isn't a good move, even just for Chelsea in general, because it could be breaking apart her alliance, and she's already stressing about it, but we'll get to that in a bit. Some other things, we started to get a little crazy because actually, now that I say that, on my notes, this is where we're jumping into it. Things got a little nuts. She met with Leah and MJ, Chelsea did, and they kind of openly talked about MJ's power, about how backdooring Lisa was the better option, right? And they were like, well, who goes up then? They threw out Cam. They bring Cam on up, and Cam's like, yeah, you know what? I'll be a pawn. Sure, why not? I can go win the veto. She fills in, Chelsea fills in Cedric about this later before nominees, and he even was like, well, if you got to put somebody up, I'll go up too, right? Like, I'm cool with it. Everybody's just not going and volunteering for the block all of a sudden. I don't know why this was a thing, but it was. And luckily, cooler heads prevailed. Chelsea went. She made her nominations. They were Lisa, Kenney, and Angela. We can update our little board here with all of that. So not too surprising. She ended up going with those 3. I would have put MJ up on the block instead of Kenney. I think that would have been probably your move. And even probably what you do, actually, you put MJ up, you put Kenney up because he wanted to. You keep Angela and Lisa off, saying that they're your target, expecting America to vote for that for the veto, because then you're keeping MJ kind of like, look, this is what you kind of told me to do, and I think it's going to work, and then you don't have to worry about the power afterwards, right? Like, nobody can then accuse you of having the power now that it's out there. You kind of give MJ a clear conscience in a way. Will she buy that? Probably not, but I'm of the opinion that you weren't going to get MJ on your side anyway, Chelsea, and especially with the whole Leah MJ being so willing to nominate a pawn of Cam, that's really started to put some things into Chelsea's head that, hey, maybe we shouldn't trust Cam as much as we do. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Afterwards, after the nominations, not too much craziness, right? Obviously, Angela's spiraling as normal, but nothing crazy as far as a blow up. Lisa was actually saying she's fine with it too. She'll go win the veto. Kenney and Lisa also think they have a really good shot of staying over Angela. And they think it's great that they're going to outlast her in the game. And it's kind of delusional as well. They have no idea what's actually happening in the game. And then later, Lisa and Chelsea had a talk in the pantry where Lisa interrogated her, kind of asking like, listen, am I your target, Chelsea? Are you putting me up on the block? Dirty feet were involved as well from Lisa. It was quite a sight. But overall, Chelsea was able to play it off like, no. Like, there were a ton of other people that I thought about. You were like the last one. Angela was easy. Kenney was easy. There were lots of different people I was thinking about. I ended up on you because I think you can win the veto. I don't think necessarily Angela is buying that fully, but it seemed to be kind of the end of that as well. Now, here's the thing where I mentioned how I don't think this is good for Chelsea's game, and here's why. For one thing, the triple C of Chelsea, Cam, and Cedric, they've kind of been the closest alliance that we've really seen in the house so far that has really kind of stuck together as far as actually having groups. Them, along with the Pentagon of Quinn and Brooklyn, are really kind of running things in the house. And this is actually probably a good spot where we can bring up our allegiance chart. What we'll actually do, we'll show you. This was the chart from just a couple of days ago, kind of giving you an idea of where things were in the house prior to Matt's eviction. Here's where we are now. So as you can see, a few changes from it. I've actually ended up moving Cedric down a little bit, Cam down a little bit. Chelsea's still staying up, but I feel like this could end up being a moment where it's either going to make or break her game. She's either going to stay at that top or she's going to start falling deeper and deeper down on this list. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But some of the things that are kind of working right now is we mentioned there's this idea that Chelsea doesn't trust Cam. Why does she not trust Cam? Well, they think that maybe he has a thing for Leah. So we talked earlier about how, you know, there's a Quinn Leah thing, but a lot of people in the house seem to think that Cam and Leah are a potential showmance, which is a thing. I think they're very flirty, but here's my take on it, and I think I even talked about this in my cast assessment video because Leah mentioned it in her bio that she was good at manipulating men, right? I think she's kind of playing everybody right now. Cedric's also not really trusting Leah that much because he felt like she was doing kind of similar things with them. They had kind of this thing where they were pretending to be twins or whatever. They dressed the same. They were walking around. It was like a whole thing. You get bored in the house, right? I mean, it's whatever. But just this idea that cracks are already starting to form in the triple C. And if you're that worried about Cam, well, if you start looking at the board here, who could end up being a big threat if you leave them in this game? Mackenzie, Lisa, Kenney, Lee, Cam. They could grab Rubina, who's been sharing a lot of information with Mackenzie in the have-not room. They're bonding. And one of the big issues with Big Brother, and it's kind of why showmances always end up being a problem, veterans, people who've played this game, always end up being a problem. Bonds in Big Brother really only grow stronger. Unless something crazy happens, bonds just get tighter and tighter. So the longer you let things kind of fester and cook, they're going to get stronger. So if you really feel like Cam already has a good bond with Leah, already has a good bond with Mackenzie, why is leaving either of them in the game good for you? You're really just setting up a moment for Cam to flip on you and Cedric because he goes, well, you two are tight. I have a better option going with somebody who's tighter to me. And I feel like this is kind of that moment where it's like, if you have power, why are you wasting it? Why get rid of Angela? Angela's going to be put up by anybody in the house. Why get rid of Kenney? He's got 1 foot out the door. Why get rid of Lisa? So many other people would put Lisa up on the block as well because they're so annoyed by her glitter. It just doesn't make any sense for me for these to be the nominees when you shouldn't even have won HOH in the first place. But if you're going to win HOH, make a move, shake it up. And Chelsea did have a little bit of a talk with the camera where she kind of explained her thought process on it, where she doesn't want to rock the boat right now, but if they make her rock the boat, she will. I don't know. I feel like you go in there, you're in this position now. You shouldn't even be in the position, but now that you have it, make a move, make an impact, make Mackenzie, make MJ get rid of her power, put someone else up. Like it just, why are you putting these three? These three who, if you look at our board, have the lowest amount of social capital, but there's plenty of other people you could have put up as well. You could have put up Mackenzie. Chelsea doesn't have a great relationship with Joseph. Why not throw Joseph on there? Look how far Joseph is down on that list. Nobody's going to care. But here's the thing. these three, the Triple C, they are getting noticed. Everyone is kind of on to them. Joe, Chemo, Quinn, TK, they're forming a tight little bond. Brooklyn also clearly knows in the Pentagon that her and Quinn are lower. Brooklyn's starting to make connections with people like Angela and trying to build more bonds. I don't ever even see them talk much with Tucker. They seem to like Tucker. Everybody kind of likes Tucker, but Tucker's doing his own thing, right? Tucker, I think, would just as easily go with Chemo, TK, Joseph than he would with the Triple C. Tucker would also easily just as much probably go with someone like Leah over the Triple C. So while, yes, at this moment, if you kind of look at this board, it seems like, yeah, they're in a pretty good spot. They're all at the top. Everyone's looking at the top. Everyone sees the top, and they're ready to get into that spot where they want to take a shot. In fact, they're already talking about how Cam is so good socially, it's probably good to get him out before jury because he's also going to be good at competitions as well. So I feel like the longer you leave this idea that Cam is getting close to Leah, Cam is close to Mackenzie, they even think Cam's close to Lisa. So if you let this idea fester, eventually it starts becoming a real thing and you're going to lose Cam on your side. He can flip and go somewhere else. The hard part about this is, too, Cam's probably the one I have the least amount of a read on in the game. He's so hard to get a read on because he doesn't talk, and that's part of why Chelsea and Cedric are starting to lose faith in him, because they feel like every time they're having a conversation, he's very quiet. He listens more than he talks, which is a good thing, but they see him hanging out with Leah. They see him hanging out with MJ. They see him hanging out with Lisa, and they're starting to wonder, is he with us or is he with them? And they don't want to get played by somebody who's in the Pentagon and spilling all their information. Things could start getting messy again. Things could really start getting messy again. It'll be interesting to see what happens with veto. Because if Lisa ends up winning veto, who are you putting up? Are you putting MJ up on the block? You've already said you kind of want to use her as the shield, so maybe you put Leah up on the block. Maybe you don't go either of those ways. Maybe you start going to where things get a little bit more messy, like Joseph or Rubina. But I don't see that is the direction she would go. I think the replacement would end up being someone like MJ or Leah, especially because of that little bond that they think is forming with Cam. But again, if that's the situation and you're looking at a replacement nom in the first place, why not get ahead of it? Go to MJ, give her a reason why she's going up, saying, hey, let's use your power to try and get Lisa or Angela up in case we don't get the veto and somebody wins it and they don't want to use it. In case, whatever. You can give her a reason on why you're doing it now instead of later. Because you tell her, hey, if I put you up as a replacement nominee, you can't even use your power. I don't want to lock you on there. I want to give you the chance to be able to take your off with the veto, with your power, or with the BBAI. I want to give you 3 chances to get off the block. But instead, now she's looking at a spot where, yeah, if Lisa wins wins veto, you're putting MJ or Leah on the block anyway. So to me, it feels like the move was to flush out the power. Let me know what you guys are thinking. We do have the veto, which will be played today. We'll have all of that update for you tomorrow about who wins veto, what the plans are going to be looking at if they need to have a replacement nominee. What do you guys think in the comments down below? Let me know what you're thinking about the nominations. Did Chelsea make the right move here? Do you think maybe she should have went after someone like MJ and Leah and kind of did that earlier? Or did she make a right move? Just kind of keep things as simple as possible, create as little waves as possible, and kind of waste her HOH, in my opinion. All right, now I'm being biased to you guys. Now I'm trying to force you guys to say things in the comments. No, I just want to know your opinion. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys all again so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking your time to watch me ramble about Big Brother, this game that I love. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, smash that like button. Hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out the links to all my socials in the pinned comment description down below. Things like my Twitch, Twitter, Discord's a great place to kind of hang out. There's lots of us in there always chatting about things going on the feeds while they're happening in real time. You even need to check out things like the Ori Fund. I don't know if they want me to share, but there's a couple of people that filled up the Ori Fund recently. So thank you so much for that. Thank you guys all again so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
I will be back tomorrow with live updates of the Big Brother house that you can only find at the live feeds. Be there or be square. Cha-ching!